Hello everybody, I'm Raw Toast. It's been a while since I've done a video, and it's actually the second time I'm trying to record this because I had issues with my sound. Yeah, so I haven't been streaming for a little while because I've had some internet issues, which has been very, very frustrating to say the very least. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to do some videos of games that can't really work on stream, and I hope you guys like it. The Life and Suffering of Sir Brante. It's a very interesting, choice-driven text game. I'm really interested to play it properly, and I hope you guys enjoy my playthrough. We're gonna get our friend Sir Brante here a good life, I'm sure. But let me know what you think, guys, down in the comments below. Well, let's start the game. We are gonna be Sir Barry Brante. We're gonna enable chat. We're gonna hide the consequences, and we're gonna disable chapter restarts. Let's play this properly. No messing around. No cheating. No. You hold the fate of a single man in your hands. You will follow his life from birth to death. Your choices shall define who Sir Brante will grow up to be. You will decide his personality, social status, and what mark he'll leave on history. With every step he takes at your behest, Sir Brante's character will change and evolve. Your decisions will close some doors for him, but open many others. The world of Sir Brante's birth is a ruthless realm where people are divided into estates. It is hard to be a hero here. Be ready to accept that Sir Brante cannot overcome every challenge in his path. Every hard choice will test his character and personal qualities. Often you will not be able to make the choice you would like to. It may happen because you chose a different road earlier, exhaust your hero's willpower, or haven't earned the right position in society. Every victory will be a struggle, a path paved with bitter losses and gut-wrenching failures. Accept the tragedy. This is how you will create a gripping and unique tale for your hero. What will become of your Sir Brante, his loved ones, and his world? It all depends on you.
The story of my life remains written on these pages. But my fate has always been my own. Every deed, every choice, every person I met made me what I am. Could I have taken a different path? Could I have found a different calling? Altered the very course of history? And what price would I have to pay?
The Life and Suffering of Sir Brante. At the end of time, your fingers are stained with ink, your breathing grows ragged, your hands are shaking, yet the world begins appearing on the page before you one by one, clinging together to form a chronicle of your own life. Who are you, and how did you reach this end? You were born, raised, and lived your entire life in the blessed Arcanian Empire. In this land, a man's destiny is predetermined at the moment of his birth. Whether human or Arcanian, nobleman, priest, or low-born commoner, all bend to the divine will of the twin gods. And each life is naught but a single cog in the universe's immeasurable machine. The memories come flooding back. They engulf you as a merciless wave, binding together days that are thrice dead and gone. The dreams of your childhood, your adolescence, your youth spent in the capital, years of peace teeming with life and a war drenched in blood. High ranks and lowly deeds, opulent palaces, secretive city backstreets, fields of battle, and faces. So many faces of the people you held dear, the people who walked this road by your side. Such was your life, now all exposed by ink erupting onto the page. With your every step, you sought to change the world as you saw fit. The choices of your upbringing, the path you carved in your youth, the fruits of your struggle, the consequence of your sacrifice, all that led you here to the end of your time. And every choice has a price. Now, years and years later, the crossroads of your life echo in your memory, the pain and joy inextricably intermingled. Could you have taken a different path, chosen a different calling, found a different place in the world? You had the power to alter the course of history. Now on the verge of death, you struggle with doubt, seeking answers to the last and most crucial question of all, your life. Of all the paths in life, why did you walk this one? Did you choose your own fate? Or was your life shaped by forces beyond your control? What determines a man's destiny? The man himself. You hear death's footsteps drawing near. You square your shoulders and take a deep, full breath. You have found your final answer. What is your destiny other than a long chain of your own actions and decisions? No matter what happened in your life, you always had a choice. You lived the life you deserved. Only you can answer for it. But are you right about this? Is it all true? To learn the truth, you'll have to return to the very beginning, remembering every step you took along the way. On these pages, the story of a man named Barry Brante will live once more. So for context, I won't really be doing like my overall thoughts throughout the game and everything. I wanted this to be like a really fun, story-driven experience for everybody. Like an audiobook in a way. Hopefully you guys like that. Chapter 1, Childhood. Childhood, where life begins. First words, first unsteady steps. You are but a small child learning about the world in which you were born. To you, everything is so new, so baffling, and so unforgiving. A long, trying life stretches before you. So many feats and faults, so many fateful choices to come. Yet you are already sowing the seeds of your future self. You are learning to live and survive in this world, looking for a place within it to call your own, choosing your future destiny. Who will you grow up to be? Prologue, growing up. In chapters childhood, adolescence, and youth, you will live through your hero's coming of age. You will shape the protagonist's personality, his qualities, and his relationships. By the end of the prologue, you will determine the estate and future occupation of your hero. Only in adulthood will he start to influence the world around him and even the ultimate fate of the Empire. Who will Barry Brante grow up to be? It's your call. Okay. Events and personal life of the hero that can happen in this chapter. The fencing lesson, Beyond, Insight, and Nobleman's Sacraments. Challenge the sacred order and attempt to seize a noble lot. You experience insight when your mother tells you about the ways of the world and the lots of its inhabitants. As a small child, you suffer your first death and rebirth. You dare to study fencing like your father, even though you have no right by it by birth. Your personal qualities at this age, they determine what choices you may make. That is divvied up to determination, perception, your inner strength, and the number of lesser deaths that you have experienced. These qualities will stay with you for your entire life, which is willpower and deaths. The sections that open this chapter, okay, that's just extra screens that we will open up later. So the Destiny screen, Personality screen, House of Brante screen, and the Family screen. Let's begin the chapter, my friends. Let's carve our way in this world. Birth. At first there was nothing. No time, no sensation. Nothing but darkness and void. Then a will breathed life into nothingness. Matter and spirit were set in motion. History began its march. It was your turn to enter this world. Your first memory. You were lying on your back, blinded by a bright white light. You were not alone. Above you tower the colossal figures of those who created you. You are part of them, and they are part of you. Between you and them is an inexplicable connection, a strong, unbreakable link. They will always watch over you, guard you, and protect you. It hurts to breathe. You let out the pain in the form of a desperate scream. Your creators extend their hands towards you. There are two of them. The ones who made you form their own selves and brought you into this world. They are united, yet as they lean closer, you begin to see how different they are. You can already feel their differences within you, struggling against each other. The first figure is soft and empathetic, wise and merciful. The love that emanates from it wraps you head to toe like an invisible blanket. The warmth from it is never ending. The second figure is strong and powerful, commanding and noble. Is harsh but fair, a beacon of guidance, a force of protection and merciless punishment for every misdeed. Yet there is also a third figure. It is like a shadow, barely seen behind them, yet already pulsing with an unbreakable will to live. It is the very will to live that is now growing even stronger within you. A soft open palm, a closed fist, a lingering distant shadow. You struggle to loosen the swaddling clothes wrapped around you and extend a tiny hand into this world. Reach out to the palm. Your little palm awkwardly clasps the soft finger. You explore your mother's hands by touch. She smiles gently as her arms wrap around you and lift you up. She smells of home, that indescribable smell, the feeling of safety that is second to none. Her embrace is the warmest place in the world, a place you want to stay for all eternity. Perception +1. Year 1118. Your life in this world begins. How will you live it? And if you guys do have any feedback as well for me, like how I read and all that kind of stuff, I would love to hear it, honestly. Feedback is very, very important, and I always welcome it, always appreciate it, so. Hide and seek. As the days go by, you learn to tell your parents apart. You recognize your father by his heavy breath and strong, cold hands. He visits you rarely. Hello there, little Barry Brante. Mother's tender voice, however, follows you day and night. My, you're growing so quickly, my child. There are 2 more children in the family named Stephen and Gloria. Gloria sings songs to you. She often dresses you in tight clothing and gently holds your hands as you learn to take your first steps. Stephen likes to sweep you up and pinch you and toss you in the air. Oh look, this is your brother and sister. Yeah, you're my little brother. We're gonna play together. But I'll always be in charge, because you were born a commoner. Be quiet, you. He doesn't understand yet. Come on, baby Barry. Let's go play in the yard. It is hot outside. You grip your brother's hand with one and your sister's with another as they help you walk down the giant stone steps. Then you sit on the ground and start exploring the sparse blades of grass with your fingers. It tickles. In the sky, far above and away from you is a gigantic pillar, a perfectly straight stick made of light. It is so bright, it hurts to look at. Why are you staring at the shining pillar? It's not going anywhere, you know. Hey, I want to play hide and seek. He's just a little baby. How is he going to play? Then you hide him, and I'll try and find you both. You have no idea what they're talking about, but you support them with happy cooing. This is strange, but so exciting. Stephen and Gloria glance at each other. Then your brother walks to a big tree, closes his eyes, and starts shouting something. Gloria takes your hand and walks you through the yard. Your sister takes you behind some thick brushes by a tall wall. The light from that light stick on the horizon barely reaches you. You can't see home from this place. The ground is crawling with tiny black bugs. Gloria sits you down on the ground and puts a finger to her mouth for some reason, and then she's gone. You can no longer hear Stephen's voice. Gloria is nowhere to be seen. You feel colder. The bugs are no fun to play with. You've been sitting here for a long time, completely alone. Nobody checks on you. Did they forget about you? Did they abandon you? Sit and wait. The bush is covered with leaves swaying in the wind. You brush through them with your fingers. The twigs and branches are stiff and will not bend. They are different from the blades of grass. Down on the ground you see a group of bugs carrying a little twig. You grab it from them. They're so funny. One of the bugs crawls to your finger and bites it, just enough to sting a little. You hear brisk steps, then the leaves and twigs rustling and parting. Your mother leans over you. You greet her with a happy face and show her the finger with the bug on it. So that's where they took you. Mother picks you up, puts you on her chest and pats you on the head. Your brother and sister stand behind her, clearly feeling guilty. Gloria's in tears. Stephen keeps staring at his feet. You hug Mother tightly. She is here now. Perception +1. Great Descent. Another memory. You are still a little child, but you can already talk and run around your own. Today is that of the ordinary. Father is busy around the house giving orders to the servants. Throughout the day, the kitchen has been abuzz with work, and there are solemn, gloomy preparations and candles being lit. Even your older brother Stephen is quiet today. Mother takes your hand and brings you to your sister Gloria. My son, today is the Great Descent. We honor the day when the twin gods descended to us. We must spend this day in reverence to the gods. You are too young to understand, so just do everything your sister says for now. Gloria takes you to the playroom. There are no toys there, no chairs, even the carpet has been taken away. There is nothing there but a bare wooden floor. Today, we're not allowed to go to any other rooms, and we'll be eating nothing but gruel and stale bread. On the day of the Great Descent, everyone must be where they belong. It is quiet, unusually so. Muffled voices from beyond the door are all you can hear. You are sitting on the cold floor, confused with no idea what to do. Then you hear your sister's voice, a lonely sound in the empty room. It is a little song that Mother taught her. You hold your breath as you listen to it. When the twins came down to earth, they brought lots for every birth. Let us count them. 1, 2, 3. Twins made them for you and me. Nobles rule and bravely fight. They protect us with their might. Priests work hard to understand, guide us by the twins' commands. Common people work and toil, always patient, never spoiled. Live your lot where you were born. To the day where you pass on, know your lot and know the prayer, for the twins see everywhere. You were transfixed by the tune. Gloria notices your gaze and a smile creeps across her face. You like the Rome, don't you, Barry? Do you know what it's all about? Look, there are 3 lots. They were brought to us by the twins when they descended up to us from the shining pillar. Remember that pillar of light on the horizon? That's it. You can see the shining pillar any time from anywhere in the world. If you follow your lot as you live, you'll reach the peak of the pillar, and if you don't, you'll get eternal torment at the foot. You and I are lowborn. Mum is a commoner too. So the lot for you and me is to suffer and be patient and work hard. Understand? The priests and nobles have other lots. Nobles fight and rule over everybody. The priests? Well, I'm not really sure what they do, but I guess they talk to the twins and then teach everybody. Gloria stares at you intently. Did you get it, silly? Then she shakes her head and keeps singing the song over and over again. Her voice transfixes you, drawing you in. The room starts to glow like the sky. From this light emerge 2 figures you have known ever since the moment of your birth. One of them embraces your sister's shoulder, the other stands guard behind her back. You watch this happening before your very eyes, unable to turn away. Gloria is swaying to the song, unaware of what is happening. She sings the final verses once more. Know your lot and know the prayer. You feel compelled by this divine sight to express yourself somehow. You feel words condensing within you from the light. But what will these words be? Finish the song properly. Know your lot and know the prayer, for the twins see everywhere. You sing the last line together with Gloria. Your sister looks up at you in surprise and gives you a nod. The shining pair standing behind her back turn to look at you. You can feel their gaze piercing you from top to bottom. When the moment passes, they melt into the dim light coming from the window. Gloria turns her head to look at where you were staring. Did you see something, Barry? You shake your head. Not anymore. Perception +1. Year 1121, Spring, the Origin. You were starting to understand more and more of what the adults say. Your family is an unusual one. Your father is a nobleman, but not by birth. His is a title earned through great service, but your mother is a low-born woman, a commoner. Because of this, you were born a commoner. The father says you may yet come onto nobility. You learn to read at an early age. Together with Mother, you read and learn by heart the many poems about the divine twins, the twin gods who reside upon the shining pillar. Mother calls these poems prayers. Again and again you try to discern the shapes of the gods in the strip of holy light that shines in the sky all day and night, but the light is too blinding to gaze upon. The greatest joy is when the stairs are no longer an insurmountable obstacle. Now you can climb and even jump from step to step. Father urges you to be more careful and avoid climbing too high. But even though you keep falling, you never stop being curious about the world around you. Your older brother Stephen now spends less and less time playing with Gloria and you. Playing with commoners is beneath a nobleman to be, he says. So Gloria calls him names, and Stephen pulls her pigtails. One fine evening, Father gathers you all in the sitting room with an announcement. You will have another little brother or sister soon. Gloria asks him to bring home a little sister. Another brother would be too much. Stephen gets frustrated. There are too many little siblings getting in his way as it is. Soon you will be an older brother too, and it doesn't really matter who the youngest will be, a boy or a girl, you will love them the most. When Father comes back from his trips, he reads his adult books aloud for you. You find those stories of wars, generals, and rebellions quite enchanting, and Father approves of your fascination. Study hard, and maybe one day you'll become a noble of the mantle and earn your sword. But first you need to grow up. Growing up. The concept is as terrifying as it is alluring. A lot of suffering. You keep staring at the carpet under your feet. You are both ashamed and proud that it feels odd. A scratch in your hand stings a little. Stephen is staying next to you, sniffling from pain. Your brother was training in the yard with a wooden sword. You wanted to play with him, but he ended up getting angry and throwing the sword at you. The stick hit you in the shoulder. You picked it up and hit him with it. You see Mother's shoes walking to and fro on the carpet. You do not want to look up. You would rather not see her angry. She is not as gentle to you these days. Why did you hurt Stephen, Barry? You stammer out an explanation. He hit you first. You just hit him back. How dare he pester me like that? When I grow up, I'm going to hit you with a real sword. Mother shuts you both and speaks to you again. Her voice is stern, and yet you can still feel her concern for you. Even if Stephen hits you, you cannot hit him back. You are my son, and I was born a commoner. Our lot is to suffer, but your brother was born from a noble father and a noble mother. His sacrament is coming soon, and then he'll rule over the likes of us. If you hurt a noble, you must be punished. That is your lot. And the sooner you learn it, the better off our entire family will be. Now Stephen looks at you in triumph. You look up at Mother in fear, not sure what to do now. Accept your punishment. You look down and agree with what she's just said. You are ready to be punished. You start apologizing to Stephen, but he turns his back on you. Before you can finish, Mother takes your hand and leads you away. You do not want to follow her. Your hands are getting sweaty and your legs are growing heavy. And suddenly she stops and bends down close to you, look you straight in your eyes. My son, I see you understand our lot now. We do not defy. We suffer. That is our only path to the twins after all our deaths. Our only way to reach eternal bliss atop the peak of the pillar. Our virtue is meekness. We are humble in our words. We work hard. We think what is right. You have shown all of this. I'm so proud of you. She hugs you and you finally release the pent-up tears. You feel much more at ease now. You are flogged in front of your entire family. The pain burns in your skin again and again, but you feel the touch of the divine law with each blow. +1 relations with Stephen. Lydia, our mother, is grateful. And -5 willpower. Gloria's rhymes. Mother mostly stays in her chambers now. With each passing day she grows heavier and her features get rounder. It gets difficult for her to walk, but she still smiles all the time. One day she takes your hands and puts them on her big belly, and you can feel a movement deep inside of her. You will have another brother or sister soon. Gloria takes you on walks to the yard now. You explore the yard together under the evening light of the pillar, and she sings you songs and tells you amazing stories. Hey Barry, do you want to hear a rhyme? I wrote it myself. There's even a little bit about you, but don't tell anyone, okay? Writing poems and songs is only for nobles. If Mummy hears about it, I'll get flogged. Remember how you got flogged for hitting Stephen? Our judge is my second father. In the past I had another. Mother says the twins are great. Says we should not fight our fate. Brother loves to jump around. Please don't fall down on the ground. See, I wrote a little rhyme. Please don't tell them this is mine. But today your sister is nowhere to be seen. She promised to take you to the old pond and show you the red frogs that live there, but then she vanished. The servants join you in your search. Even Mother leaves her chambers when she hears the commotion. Finally you find Gloria in the far corner of the garden. She's holding a quill and sheets of paper covered in poetry. Mother becomes angry the moment she sees it. She looks through the poetry and her face grows dark with rage. Gloria is standing before her, wringing her hands and looking for an opportunity to run. But there seems to be no escape. What is this nonsense, Gloria? We talked about this. You were told to take care of your little brother. You were absolutely not allowed to entertain yourself with this writing. I can decide that for myself, Mum. No, you cannot. It has already been decided by the gods. And he's not a little brother anymore. He doesn't need a nanny. And I need some time alone to think for myself. I'm not hurting anyone. You are a commoner and a future wife. It's time you learn how to properly care for children. Had your disgraceful former father kept me in his house, you could have been born a noble. That is not our fate. And you are absolutely forbidden from ever spoiling paper and wasting ink again. Mother grabs Gloria firmly by the hand and takes you both into the house. The scribbled sheets fly into the fireplace. Gloria sobs violently. You are a bystander to the scene, unsure of how to act. Offer to write rhymes with her. Mother leaves. The last of your sister's poetry burns away in the fireplace. You hug your sister and whisper to her, "Let's go to the library," you say. The two of you can hide under the table and write something together. Gloria shakes her head violently. Mother said no. There is no way she would ever defy her. You reassure her that it'll be your secret. You pull Gloria to the library. She fights you, but you refuse to relent. You carefully peek inside. Your sister takes a small book from one of the shelves and you read it together under the table. It's a book of poetry about eternal love. Gloria clearly adores it. You decide to write a poem of your own. She recites a line in an ecstatic voice and you repeat it after her and offer a rhyme of your own. She nods happily. You do this until the day ends. You have written a poem of your own and learnt it by heart, but not a single line of it has been committed to paper, which means that you have stayed true to your mother's rule. Perception +1. We are now inquisitive. Year 1122, Winter, the coming sacraments. Mother is in her armchair knitting woolen jackets, pants and socks for the little one. The baby will need to be kept warm, she says. Father spends less time at home now. Mother says he's very busy with his important job. He is a judge after all. One day you decide to ask Mother about Stephen and Gloria. How come they're brother and sister to you, but not siblings to each other? Well, my dear, I didn't give birth to Stephen, you see. He's the son of another mother, and Gloria is the daughter of another father. Come now, don't knit your brow like that. You'll understand when you're older. How is that even possible? You're all family, are you not? Several days later, Mother calls Stephen and Gloria to the sitting room. You sneak in after them. At first, Mother gets angry and asks you to leave, but then she relents. You were told to sit still, be quiet, and remember every word you hear. When you enter the temple, bow to the twins. First to the elder on the right, then to the younger on the left. Stephen, You are a nobleman to be, so walk along the side paved with marble, where the benches are. Gloria, you walk along the sharp side. When you're there, you must get down on your knees, each on your own side. Stephen, kiss the sword. Gloria, my daughter, it will strike you with the lash. Don't be afraid of it. Resign yourself to the suffering it brings. It is the blessing of your lot. Gloria doesn't like the idea of the lash. There's a tense feeling in your chest as well. You were told to remember this. Will the lash strike you too one day? On the next day, they take your brother and sister to the temple. You run towards them when they finally come back. The back of Gloria's dress is soaked with blood. She's hunched a bit, sobbing quietly. Stephen is putting on airs, acting prouder than ever. Nothing else looks different about them. It's like it is all the same, and yet everything has changed. Each of them has accepted their lot. -1 relations with Stephen. -1 in unity. Interesting. Brother and sister sacraments, year 1122. Your siblings Stephen and Gloria took their first sacrament at the temple. Well, my friends, I think this is where I'm going to end the first episode here, where the newborn's cry begins. So I'm going to keep to do probably about 30-minute episodes every time. I think that's a good amount of time, nice little story time, before bed. Still, I've really enjoyed this game, and I'm going to keep playing this game. I'm going to do a whole series on it, and I'd like to keep doing more games like this for my YouTube, because my Twitch is very different. My Twitch is a lot of viewer interaction, a lot of other different types of games. And currently I'm going to be playing Food Truck Simulator and Black Mesa, then we're going to be doing Metro Exodus and whatever else we're feeling like. So, let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your feedback on this. It'd be absolutely lovely. So my friends, have an absolutely lovely day, a lovely night, and hopefully I'll see you all really soon, okay?